a story of terror about the Pharaohs. Imagine if a mummy wakes up from his long slumber. He wreaks havoc in search of his lost body parts that were removed by an evil doctor for his own selfish reasons. Let's get started. The year is 1871 and the place is Egypt. The main character is an evil doctor named Coffin, who works at the Cairo Museum. His position makes him responsible for protecting the artifacts. However, he doesn't take his job seriously and instead spends most of his time drinking alcohol. One day, his friend George brings his new invention to the museum, an X-ray machine. Excited by this development, Canola takes it to the storage room and opens a box containing the remains of the pharaoh Tutankhamun. He takes out the bones and starts experimenting with the X-ray machine. But before he could complete his work, the lights go out, and when they come back on, he finds himself face to face with the angry spirit of Tutankhamun. Unable to bear the sight, Canel faints. When he comes to, Tutankhamun demands his lost body parts back, and in exchange, he promises to give Canon his eternal life. Canon hesitates but eventually agrees and gives Tutankhamun the remaining body parts. Immediately, the mummy comes to life, grabs Canon by the neck, and warns him not to interfere again. With that, he disappears, leaving behind only his golden mask. Canel is shaken by the encounter and tells George what happened, but he doesn't believe him. Instead, he thinks that Canon stole the mask. Canon tries to convince him otherwise, but George doesn't listen and calls the police. Now, Canon has to find Tutankhamun before he gets into more trouble. He goes to the graveyard and looks for the pharaoh's tomb. He then sneaks inside and searches for the missing body parts. Suddenly, he hears footsteps and hides. It turns out to be just a cat, but Canon mistakes it for Tutankhamun and runs away. He finds the first body part, the heart, and puts it in a box. Then he leaves it in the middle of the street to be picked up later. Later, he successfully retrieves all the other body parts and returns them to the tomb. He places them near the coffin and waits for Tutankhamun to return. The mummy arrives and is overjoyed to have his body back. He thanks Canon and tells him that their deal is over. As he closes the lid of the coffin, Canon asks for one more favor: to see his face. Tutankhamun agrees and removes his mask. Canon is shocked to see that he looks exactly like George. Just then, George enters and sees them together. Tutankhamun, noticing George's disbelief, reveals his true form and attacks him. Canon, realizing that he made a big mistake, tries to stop the fight. But Tutankhamun wants revenge and knocks out George. He then turns to Canon and tells him that he'll give him 3 days to find the rest of his body parts so that he can be resurrected. Otherwise, he'll make his life a living hell. And with that, he disappears. Canon now has 3 days to find the rest of the body parts and stop Tutukon from causing more chaos. He's scared, but determined to do whatever it takes. He goes to the museum and asks George's sister Elizabeth for help. She agrees, and together they go to the streets to look for the body parts. They ask people if they found anything, but no one knows where the body parts are. Meanwhile, Tutankhamun is causing destruction throughout the city. People are running for cover and hiding in their homes. Canon and Elizabeth go to the hospital and look through the X-ray images of the patients. They find that one of the patients has the brain and another has the liver. Canon goes to visit them, but both times he's too late. Tutankhamun has already retrieved his body parts and destroyed everything in his path. Elizabeth is getting frustrated with Canon for not being able to find the body parts, but he assures her that he'll stop Tutankhamun before it's too late. At the museum, Cannon and George meet up and decide to work together to stop Tutankhamun. George tells Cannon that he has to get rid of the mask because it's bringing bad luck. Cannon disagrees, saying that the mask is part of the Pharaoh's identity and shouldn't be tampered with. They argue until Elizabeth breaks it up. She tells them to focus on the task at hand and stop fighting. At night, Tutankhamun visits George's house and demands the last body part, the penis. George tells him that he doesn't have it, but Tutankhamun uses his powers to see through the walls and finds out that Cannon has it. In a fit of rage, Tutankhamun destroys the house and disappears. George and Elizabeth blame each other for what happened, but Cannon tells them to work together if they want to save the city. Meanwhile, Tutankhamun has gone to the museum and is demanding the phallus from Cannon. Cannon refuses, saying that he won't let Tutankhamun use it for his evil plans. The two fight, but Tutankhamun is too powerful and knocks Cannon out. He grabs the phallus and puts it on, completing his resurrection. Now fully restored, Tutankhamun turns his attention to the city. Cannon wakes up and sees Elizabeth. She tells him that Tutankhamun is loose and causing destruction. He realizes that he has to stop the pharaoh, but he's afraid of what might happen if he tries. Elizabeth encourages him to be brave and fight for what's right. Giving in to his sense of duty, Cannon agrees to stop Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun is wreaking havoc in the city. He's using his powers to control people and bend them to his will. Cannon, armed with a wooden stake, tries to attack him, but he's easily overpowered. Tutankhamun mocks him and tells him that he's too weak to do any damage. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, Elizabeth appears with the X-ray machine. She tells Cannon that she has an idea to stop Tutankhamun. Using the X-ray machine, they expose Tutankhamun, and the stake glows brightly. This weakens the pharaoh and gives Cannon a chance to strike back. He hits Tutankhamun with the stake, causing the mummy to scream in pain. Elizabeth continues to expose Tutankhamun while Cannon keeps attacking him. Finally, Tutankhamun loses his powers and collapses. Cannon and Elizabeth stand victorious, but their celebration is short-lived. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake and the statue of Ra, the Egyptian sun god, falls on them. Both are crushed beneath the rubble. In the end, only the X-ray machine is left intact, suggesting that there may still be hope for stopping the mummies. This terrifying tale teaches us about the importance of respecting other cultures and the consequences of greed and selfishness. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing stories. Thanks for watching.